So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Governor Newsom signed into law Assembly Bill 1228, establishing a minimum wage of $20 per hour for fast food workers beginning April 1st, 2024, and we need to talk about it. So there needs to be some explanation and background on this bill itself and what was happening. Roughly July of last year, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill 257 into law. That was the FAST Act, and it was opposed by quite a few people. There was a Save Local Restaurants coalition that collected more than 1 million signatures opposing Assembly Bill 257. And so there was enough signatures for a 2024 ballot initiative overturning the initial law. That initial law was the Fast Food Accountability and Standards Recovery Act, which established a fast food council. 4 of the 10 council member seats were reserved for employers and franchise industry representatives, and then the other half was by labor. And that law, which raised the minimum wage for fast food workers to 22 per hour, was supposed to take effect January 1st this year, but got paused because of the ballot initiative. Right now, the minimum wage in California is $15.50. National Restaurants Association Executive Vice President for Public Affairs Sean Kennedy called the FAST Act a absolutely damaging bill, saying there is no way that the regulations passed by this unelected council would not damage the state's restaurant industry, harm its workforce, and leave diners paying the bill. So Governor Newsom was facing a referendum on this FAST Act food tax, and it was going to be put on the 2024 general election ballot. Governor Newsom did not want to see that go to popular vote, so instead he signed this bill, Assembly Bill 1228. This bill pulls Assembly Bill 257 and instead establishes a minimum wage of $20 per hour, down from 22 in the initial bill, and also creates a fast food council to develop and propose other labor, health, or safety standards for rulemaking. For one, why not $30 an hour? Why not $40 an hour? It went from 22 to 20. If this has no impact on businesses and is simply a way to increase the pay, there's no reason to reduce that number, right? There is no reason to decrease from 22 to 20 if there is no impact on the consumer or businesses at large. So looking at the new law, it applies to national fast food chains. It's limited service restaurants consisting of more than 60 establishments nationally. And so I'm sure that there will be a lot of legal wrangling as to what is specifically a fast food restaurant. And there will be a fast food council. So 2 representatives of the industry, from the fast food industry, 2 representatives from the franchisees or restaurant owners, 2 representatives of fast food employees, 2 for, quote, advocates for fast food employees, end quote, and 1 unaffiliated member of the public who has no interest, not an employee, and has not received income from the fast food industry or any labor organization. Which I don't know why. What is advocates for fast food restaurant employees? I assume that means labor unions. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And in addition, there will be someone that's a non-voting member, that's a representative from the Department of Industrial Relations in California, and someone from the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, which I'm sure is just a stooge. This council will be set to establish fast food restaurant minimum standards on wages, set minimum standards with working hours, working conditions, health and safety, etc. Don't know why their OSHA is not doing that. The OSHA, Cal OSHA, I'm sure has a lot of input from labor organizations as well as the group as a whole. So I don't know why you would move that responsibility from OSHA to the Special Fast Food Council. In addition, the council will set standard employment standards with respect to wages and working conditions and training. I would not want to be a fast food employer in the state of California because it's already a mess. Most people don't know this from a human resources perspective, but the Human Resources Certification Institute has kind of the preeminent certification with respect to HR. It's called the PHR, Professional Human Resources, or the SPHR, Senior Professional, and they actually have a specific California certification. Specifically related to the state because the state's laws can be so onerous and involved and labyrinthine. I mean, that's more than the best way to describe California's laws. They don't necessarily always protect the worker. They're just a lot and labyrinthine. I mean, that's exactly what they are. So I would not look forward to that if I were an employer or an HR rep in California, because it is already quite a mess. But having an unelected council, define these things is going to be a nightmare. And that's ultimately the most frustrating thing. I don't have a problem with elected officials defining these regulations and defining what they expect their workers to do. I think that is a natural outcropping of democracy, of course. However, when you move these regulations and the definitions of these regulations to unelected entities that are just simply appointed or selected, they have no responsibility to the public. They have no responsibility to anyone other than themselves and whatever organization that they belong to. And that, again, cuts both ways, right? Both the industry and the response to industry. And that is absolutely frustrating. It's frustrating for anyone involved, and it results in a bad product ultimately. And that's mostly what I'm concerned about. I expect that you'll see a rise of automation in California, specifically surrounding fast foods. There's no reason to want to pay $22 an hour, $20 an hour, and have your costs continue to be cut into. I expect that you'll just see less service, or less human service, and probably a better product, to be totally honest, because you'll have more efficient work, more efficient done, and you'll get more out of it with less people. So the employment situation will just go down, and probably, if I had to guess, the restaurant owners will ultimately make more money, considering all this, with just less employees. Of course, the labor unions are celebrating that, as they should. They played a large role in this regulation. David Huertas, which is the president of the SEIU of California, said, quote, "After 10 years of vibrant and courageous activism, which included raising the minimum wage for all workers in the state and bringing billions of dollars into working families' pockets, fast food workers and have now achieved something historic. We extend our deepest gratitude to the governor for his leadership in fighting poverty, empowering workers, and moving us towards a more just and equitable society." I think that it will absolutely perhaps be more just for the employees who maintain their jobs, but I don't think layoffs will happen. The industry is too full of turnover anyway to warrant it. It will just be a slow attrition rate of fast foods, or of fast food employees. But they're celebrating it. Why, and as they should, SEI should, because they will be at the table for this new fast food council, where they previously didn't really have a seat other than being lobbyists with the governor, right? So that's important for the labor unions, and they've been successful there. Let me know what you think. $20 an hour, it's exciting. I think that it will draw a lot of people away from, other industries like nursing and teaching, and instead encourage them to become fast food workers, because they are not a part of this minimum wage, right? This is only fast food. And so it will draw other employees away from those companies, or from those industries, into fast food naturally. But let me know what you think about this raise in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.